Hello, 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 Danny.
Hello.
There you are. God, you are quiet. Why are you so quiet?
Oh, that might help a little bit.
Ah, there we go. Now I can hear your beautiful voice. How are you doing today?
Doing pretty good.
Uh, so, oh my god. Alright, so, I really only have like two pieces to talk about today. I'm gonna be honest, this was kind of a weird week for gaming news, at least for things that interested me. And nothing like crazy. I think because there's one and where was it? Where was it? I saw one thing. Oh God. Okay, I don't know where it went. But all right. I guess we'll just start off with the one thing that I found. Oh wait, here it is. Okay, so I have two things to go over. The first one is the big one, which is World of Warcraft. All right, and we all know how much you love MMOs, Danny. World of Warcraft has released Phase 3 for Season of Discovery, bringing in the Sunken Temple raid, which has had some ups and downs. Number one, they did do a really good job at the leveling pace for it. Number one, if you're leveling from 1 to 30, you have 100% bonus XP. From 30 to 40, it's 50% bonus XP. And then currently, because of Season 3, Phase 3, which increases the cap from 40 to 50, you won't get the XP because it's the current phase. So they've brought in a couple of things for the new phase. Number one, again, they brought in a new raid, i.e., it's a revised raid where it's a dungeon that's been made into a raid. Much like everything else, there was Black Fathom Deeps, then it was Gnomeregan, and then it's Sunken Temple. Now, Sunken Temple is kind of notorious because it's, number one, it's an OG dungeon. And OG dungeons in WoW are long as shit. Like, they are like 30 to 45 minutes long for a dungeon. Like, if you go to like Wrath Classic or hell Retail, most of them can be done in like 10 minutes. Like, it takes double to triple the time to do OG dungeons. They're absurd. And there was a big problem with players recently because Sunken Temple got released, people hit the cap, and then immediately everybody was going for World's First for the Sunken Temple raid. Nobody got it. because the devs were like, we were afraid of player power, so we upped the health bars, not realizing that players with pre-BIS gear, right? Pre-BIS be the shit they got before they get shit from the raid, right? Couldn't kill trash mobs. Because the trash mobs had so much fucking HP. Like, players were like, what the fuck is this shit? Like, what the fuck? Like, the numbers were astronomically high for Classic. Like, astronomically high for Classic. Like, there was no reason that they needed to be that high. So, the developer stated that they would be nerfing the HP on both the bosses and the trash mobs in Sunken Temple. Which is cool. Phase 3 also brought out, I believe, new runes. I don't know what any of them are, because, to be honest, I haven't really played since Phase 2. So, I should log in and actually check it out. But, yeah, no, it's pretty cool. That's the first one that I had, and then the second one that I have is a really small one, Danny. And then we can get into all the wonderful choices that you have picked today. Which is Pow World is getting an update this summer. They have released They have released news about that. So they have released that there is a huge update coming to the game soon, along with a quality of life update that they just released recently, and the developers have stated that they are going to continue to update the game as much as they can, as often as they can. Because I don't know if you've seen the numbers, Danny, but once like people beat Power World and did all the crazy dumb shit, they left.
Yep.
Like nobody's fucking playing Power World, which is a shame because I like American Pokemon.
It's something that was kind of like written on the walls for it. It blew up. It was real popular, but it is like part of basically what they said. It's their first game. It's not. There's not like a whole lot past a certain point. So it's like I get it. It's kind of like what happened with what is it? V Rising.
Oh yeah, yeah, very much so.
It's like they're not bad games for like any means. It's just that once you've done the mainline stuff, that's kind of it.
Yeah, because because the problem is that a lot of players found that it didn't have a whole lot of replayability. Because once you got to like the uber levels of just farming and enslaving your pals and doing all the crazy dumb shit, like you just had infinite resources and there was just no stopping you. And the sky was the moon. Unfortunately, they hit the moon.
Yep.
And then players were like, "Wow, this moon is kind of bland." Which is a shame, because I actually think, now granted, I know a lot of people, and especially Nintendo, hates the fact that most of them are, like, a lot of the designs are ripped off of Pokemon, but I cannot stress this enough. Pokemon was ripped off of fucking Dragon Quest. So Nintendo doesn't really get to say shit.
Yeah. And
which is the part that I think is mad funny.
like they're distinctively different enough that it's like you can tell where the inspiration came from, but they're different enough that in a court of law it's not standing up.
Yeah, it's good enough that they can escape a lawsuit, is basically what it is.
Yeah.
And it's a shame, because I think Power World's cool. I never got a chance to play it, but I've just seen a lot of people play it, and I think it's how do I feel like it's part of a new and I actually do want to discuss this with you a little bit, is a new category of games where, because we've become so engrossed into the internet, especially this generation and future generations, and games that provide content, not just gameplay wise, but people will talk about dumb shit in the game online, especially, right? Like, two great examples I think are Power World and Helldivers, right? The Power World, like, people love shitting and trashing like random things in Power World, which I think is hysterical, because sadly enough, Power World still looks better than the newest Pokemon games on like half the budget. And Helldivers 2 is a fucking treasure trove of goddamn memes. Like, the Helldiver fucking memes on fucking Twitter, alone, are fucking gold. Absolute fucking gold. Like, they're beautiful, and I love it. And I think that games like that give you, I would call them stupid fun. Like, because they're dumb games. They're incredibly dumb. They don't take themselves seriously.
Yep.
But they're just so much fun to just throw hours into for no fucking reason. Like, it's not a game like War Thunder. It's not a game like COD. It's not a game like League of Legends, right? Games that are just stupid fun because they're dumb. They're dumb games, and everybody knows they're dumb, but they're fun, and they will continue to play it because of that. And because of that, more content gets dropped. And I don't know what you would like classify it as like a new genre of games, because technically Helldivers because Helldivers falls into a horde, I guess, mode, and Power World is an open world exploration, I guess. But I'll put them in like subcategories of like just fun games that I could throw myself into for hours, and I would never be bored, ever. So, But all right, uh, what do you got for me on the docket today, Danny? Because I hope you have something better than me. I scoured the internet and I could not find shit for news that I was a fan of.
Yeah, I've got two things. One, the very short thing, which is kind of news, is that shortly after Take-Two acquired Gearbox, there were layoffs again.
Yeah!
And a few other studios that recently got sold off from Embracer had the same thing. It's something that's happening across the entire industry, and doesn't really have any signs of stopping until everything is downsized.
Which is a shame, because I would like to think that Gearbox has done a phenomenal job with its main series, which was Borderlands. So,
it's what's happened. Kind of figured it was going to with the full sale to 2K. Well, Take-Two, because they've been cutting quite a bit, but that's about all that there was for that. There's not a whole lot to it.
yeah.
The big thing was yet another live stream for Into the Light.
Alright, hit me with it.
And they're cooking.
Alright, what have they cooked up this time, Danny? Because they brought some gas last week when we were covering that shit.
So, they recapped some things from the last one, and then they put it up on the TWAB, so the whole, stream is up there. But I'm gonna start with the, lower end of this, where there are weapon tuning.
Always appreciated. I like when shit gets buffed and nerfed.
So, breech-loaded grenade launchers, to start with, they said that they see a fair amount of PvE usage, but it's mostly the waveframes, or blinding grenades.
Yeah.
So, in Into the Light, the impact damage of all breech-loading grenade launchers is being increased by 40%.
That's pretty high.
It works out to about a 15% damage buff in total.
That's a lot. Holy shit.
And they are reducing disorienting grenades radius by 15%, which, fair enough, they are a little too strong. I can agree with that. They are a little too good.
I mean, they're kind of a necessity in harder night, and especially in the weekly nightfalls, because disorienting grenades, a mob, is just way too fucking strong.
Yep. And they're getting toned down a little bit. And lightweight bows are getting their base damage increased by 6%.
Huh.
In PvP.
Nice to see bows actually getting some love for once. We haven't seen any bow love since Wish Ender got its change.
Yep. And they did say that Le Monarch and Wish Ender are not affected by this change because they are performing kind of where they want bows to perform.
Which, in all fairness, yeah, Le Monarch is kind of Le Monarch was the only bow for how long in PvP?
Until
Wish
they added its catalyst, and then until it got nerfed.
Yeah, and then they gave Wish Ender its shit. Because they gave it intrinsic anti-barrier, which, in all fairness, made sense for the weapon. So
it's a good change.
It's a very good change, and I still like to meme with Wish Ender in PvP. The wall hacks,
it's still really
useful.
Good. Let's see. They've also nerfed precision auto rifles by 5%, which makes sense because basically every game you're going to see an Amit or something like it because it's way too strong.
Yeah. What's Gnawing Hunger again?
Gnawing Hunger, I think, is an adaptive.
Yeah, I just think the adaptives have such. I mean, there have been some really good fucking adaptive auto rifles. I mean, obviously, Gnawing Hunger being the premier one out of all of them.
And the newest one, Ross Argo, also avoid auto.
I'll have to go pick that up.
It can get Onslaught.
Oh, interesting. I'll have to load up.
It's pretty fun.
Oh, that's right. I have to load up D2 and actually like get it updated for our gauntlet on the 9th. If we can load in on the 9th.
Yeah. And let's see what else. Hand cannons and scout rifles, specifically precision and adaptive hand cannons and
Ooh.
rapid fire. Well, some pulse rifles and rapid fire scout rifles are getting some love. Precision hand cannons will be able to 2 crit 2 body low resilience guardians, and more easily get 3 critical hits with damage boosts.
Okay.
So they're increasing its base damage by 6. Adaptives are getting increased body shot by 1% and crit by 4%.
Okay, you know, I can understand that to an expense.
There's a lot of good changes for those. I do want to skip to the exotics because 1KV is getting its total ammo increased from 7 to 11 before reserve mods.
Okay, that's
because
nice.
It's pretty good.
Well, also,
Quicksilver Storm-
1KV hasn't been touched in a long time.
Oh yeah, since they added its ability to ignite on 2 shots.
Yeah. So that's a good change.
Yeah. Quicksilver is getting a little bit of a nerf
Yeah.
because it's kind of everywhere. Increased shots to trigger rockets by 50%, so it's going to take about twice as long to get the total number of rockets. And the grenade area effect damage is reduced by 37.5%. Which makes sense, because the direct impact of those grenades hit like a heavy GL,
Yeah, and it's on a primary weapon. So
which is a little insane.
yeah, no, makes sense. I'm fine with that. Plus, with strand builds, it's kind of gross.
Yeah. And Last Word gets an increase in base damage by 6% because it's falling behind.
Wait, Yeehaw Boy's getting a buff? What fucking timeline are we in? What the fuck?
And this one's really funny. Forerunner inadvertently received the primary ammo sidearm critical damage bonus. So they fixed that, but to compensate for it, they have increased its base damage by 6%.
Oh, that's beautiful. See, I know a lot of people love Forerunner, but they don't use it because it's a special ammo sidearm. But goddamn, is that fucking gun so much fun?
Oh yeah.
So that's actually very interesting. So does it come out to a net buff or a net nerf, or is it a change?
It comes out to about the same, which makes sense.
No, that's fair.
Also, they talked about these fun things, because I'm going in order of like hype. I've started with the lowest and I'm going higher up on the list.
Okay.
So there will be 3 new PvP maps.
Oh, that's big. All dropping into the light?
Yep.
That's-
Eventide Labs on
Wow.
Europa, Cirrus Plaza on Neomuna, and Dissonance on the terraformed pyramid ship. All 3 will be coming into the light. And they do kind of have a focus more on the 3v3 modes, but will also be playable in the 6v6 modes.
You know what? That's hype. That is in fact hype. PvP players, y'all get to actually eat.
And
Neil, what are you doing? Get away from the cords, babies.
They even mentioned this specifically. Dissonance, the map on the terraformed
Sit.
pyramid ship,
No. Sit.
was it was made with actual player feedback. They brought in a few players that were interested in improving the quality of the PvP experience, and they had them try it early.
That's
So,
interesting. What
it
are there
has-
any like major names?
They have not released a list of names, which I'm pretty sure is probably because of their NDA that they probably had to sign to test that.
Yeah, well, the only issue that I have is that if they just brought any Joe Schmo, the maps will probably end up poorly. But if they
They they brought in some. They said they brought in some pretty devoted players.
so when we talk about PvP, who are we thinking of? Um,
I am actually curious
I
who
mean,
they
there's
brought in
there's
as
some
well.
there's some really standout guys. I mean, Grenadier Jake, I think, is probably the first one that comes to mind because he does a lot. I think he's been one of the bigger voices for the PvP player base because he
Yeah,
plays both PvP and PvE. Because no offense to you, Danny, because I'm the exact same way. We're not great with PvP. Like we can get by and like play
no,
trials, but
yeah,
we would rather go play PvE.
absolutely.
Yeah. So like, but Grenadier Jake is one of those guys that I'm like, he plays both PvP and PvE pretty equally because he likes to judge both to see if they're good or bad right now. So he's the first one that comes to mind. MP edits. No, not MP edits. Fallout plays. That's who I'm thinking of. I mean, technically MP edits too, but I don't know if he'd do it because he'd just be a meme lord the whole time. Fallout plays, I think, would be the other really big one since he does all of the the hardcore numbers.
Yeah,
So if either Fallout or Grenadier Jake were at least at there, I would have a little bit more faith in it. But I kind of agree with you. They probably did have to sign an NDA, so they won't be able to like speak about it out loud, which
yeah.
makes sense. Sucks, but it makes sense.
They did say that the people that they brought in, they let them test a build of the map that they thought was pretty solid, and they said that they got a lot of very useful feedback from that and ended up changing a lot of the map.
That's good at least. So based on what the players saw, it probably will look like a completely different map.
It the They showed off all three of these maps on the live stream in full. They showed off every little
Wow.
corner of these maps, so they are ready to ship. They are completely finished.
Well, I
They
mean,
actually
Into the
do
Light
look good.
drops on the 9th,
Yeah,
so God, I hope they're finished. All right, but no, three new PvP maps in one season. That's
yep.
good. That's whoever cooked that up. Keep cooking. Throw some garlic on
And
there. That was beautiful.
on top of that, because that we're not even finished. We're barely at the halfway point of the stuff they talked about. A small thing that is also equally hype as the maps, they're giving people an additional name change. If you missed it, or if you got in after the name change and your name on Bungie is Guardian, like 7 numbers, there you go. You can change it. You can actually have a name in game now. As well as character recustomization.
I did see that. That it'll be the first time since D1
And
we'll
you
be able to do that.
and you can do it on login as many times as you want.
And
Anytime.
and you know what? I think that is an absolute W.
It's huge. But on top of that, it's not the only thing. Because they're bringing back 2 exotic missions.
I saw that Whisper of the Worm, which we both
Mm-hmm.
talked about, and they're bringing back. I don't remember what the other one is.
Outbreak.
Yeah, Outbreak Perfected. That's 0 hour, right?
Yep.
Yep.
Whisper
I mean, you were on
and
the money
0
about it.
Hour.
You did call out 0 hour last week.
Oh, because I was like, Hawkmoon doesn't make sense because Hawkmoon is like a specific PvP exotic, whereas Whisper may be PvE, but it can be used, and Outbreak is just Outbreak. It works.
Yeah, it fuels itself. It's Outbreak.
They also showed the list of options you can pick for the crafted versions, and Whisper can have two very wonderful things replace Mulligan. You can have field prep for a fast reload while crouched and more ammo, or no distractions for less flinch.
That is very interesting. So PvE, so they have a PvE one and a PvP one. Which is interesting. Well, technically no distractions is also PvE, but I find it more useful in PvP.
Yeah. On top of that, though, Whisper's getting a total ammo reserve buff. Up to 24 rounds.
From
now.
What?
18.
Isn't that a clip and a half?
Mm-hmm.
That's fucking massive. And the ammo mods are going to make that even better.
They said in the stream that they know Whisper is in a good place right now, but we want to make it a sustained damage monster.
You know what?
And
Dubs.
they're cooking. Also, Outbreak got one new perk that you can throw onto it that I will probably be using on mine. They decided what would be good for Outbreak. I know, rewind rounds.
Wait a second. Isn't that the no time to explain mechanic?
It's on a lot of the Vault of Glass weapons.
Yeah.
You get a certain number of precision hits, it just puts the bullets back in the magazine.
That's mildly terrifying.
So, Outbreak could be coming back as a good, I'm out of heavy ammo, better use Outbreak option.
And just spam bullets.
Yep. On top of that, they are reprising the ships from both of these missions and giving them a new little look so that you will be able to differentiate between the original ships and the new ones.
That's fucking dope. That's super fucking cool. I will definitely be running both of those with you because I never finished Whisper.
And they did say that they've tweaked the bosses a little bit to make it a fresh experience, but I'm very excited. But I like this. I like what they're doing because the normal, if you already have the weapon and the catalyst, all you have to do is just run it and you can craft it. If you need the catalyst, they will both have their legendary versions, which you can get the catalyst.
W's. Dubs. Absolute fucking dubs. Nia, I need you to sit, babies. Sorry, my dog is deciding to be an absolute rat right now. Put your head on my knee and I will pet it. Stop trying to slink to the floor, dog. I'm not petting you if you show your belly on the floor.
They had two other things after that as well. They are tweaking the New Light experience.
I did see that. I'm glad to hear. Because the New Light experience, what is it right now?
It's doing stuff for Shahan. So
which is
on
ass.
The 9th,
Nobody likes Shahan.
On the 9th, there will be an option to take an Arcadia-class jump ship straight to the tower and talk to Ikora, where you will get a pre-made setup of any of the subclasses that are available to New Lights.
Huh.
Which will include the super, the fragments, a set of rare gear, some weapons, I think a few legendary weapons and an exotic catered to that subclass and super. So I'm interested to see what they have picked out for that, but I feel like that's significantly better, and it allows players to jump right into playing with friends.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm down to talk a little bit of speculation, because I'm going to be real, if you're running Arc, you're getting Risk Runner. I feel like Risk Runner is just too good. For Solar, I'm not petting your belly, Nia. You dropped on the floor. I can't pet your belly. I'm not getting out of the screen. I think for Solar, this may be a hot take. I actually think Sunshot might be the best choice.
I'll be honest. I don't think that's a hot take.
Well, I know that there's a lot of other solar weapons that people would love to see, but I'm like, Sunshot's relatively easy to use.
It's Sunshot is so good, and it's getting a little bit of a buff in PvP as well into the light.
Yeah. For Void, what would be good for Void?
Graviton. Easy.
Oh.
Graviton's just too good.
I don't know if they could give people Graviton though, because you're right, because it is too good. I feel like they're going to give them a mid-tier Void weapon, but I also think that Void is probably, out of all the subclasses, I think Void is the easiest to understand how it works. If you hit something with Void, you do more damage. It is that simple.
It also has, it has the most, solo sustainability next to Solar.
Yeah. You could make an entire raid team of Void and get away with it.
Yep. It's pretty forgiving.
I'm sorry, I'm leaning over. My dog is sneaking up underneath my arm and behind my chair right now. She's trying to hop up right now. You know what? If you're gonna hop, come on, up, get on the chair. Come on, up. If you're gonna get on the chair, no, you're not getting on my lap. I'm sorry, Danny. This fucking dog. I mean, for Void, what would you give for Void?
It's I think they would it has to either be Graviton, or they're gonna throw Tractor Cannon, or
most players don't even know how to use Tractor Cannon. I feel like that's not a good one.
The only other option, really, for the base Void exotics is Telesto.
Oh, no. Absolutely. You know what? Never mind. I take it back. Give him Graviton Lance. I'm thinking of all of the Void exotics, and I'm like, no. Definitely fucking no. Telesto is also definitely up on there, and it's you want every player to get a fucking Telesto? Really?
Because, it's either that, or you just package a bunch of them with Hard Light.
Honestly, not a bad move, though.
I mean, Hard Light is, the basic... It's the basic exotic primary.
Which, in all fairness, though, is useful for all three of the light subclasses.
It's a good start.
It's actually, I think it's one of the best starting weapons in the game. If you can get it early, it's a great weapon. It will carry you through the campaigns. Because of just how valuable being able to change elements are and destroying shields. I just think it's that useful. Dog, you're going to flop over. You're going to flop. You fell down. She literally fell over. Doggo.
I'm interested to see what they've put together, and if they've gotten some feedback from people in the community on what would make good starter builds.
Yeah, I mean, I agree.
They're 9. There are 9 new light builds that they have,
which is good. I'm very interested in that. Now they're not giving them any exotic armor, correct, to match said subclasses?
I don't think they are giving them exotic armor because Ikoris Quest will take care of that.
Oh, right, yeah, because you automatically, yeah. Which, Ikoris Quest actually give you really good exotic armors.
Yeah, some of them don't make sense necessarily for the subclass they're paired with, but
well, yeah, because
solid.
Well, yeah, because for Ikora's, I remember doing Ikora's Void ones when that first came out. What was the fucking exotic for Void? It was,
Well, the Warlock one is, probably the best you can get for Void, because I believe they give you Nezarix.
Yeah, and I'm like, that's at no bite. No bite. Yeah, Nezarix is literally, hands down. The only other one better, even close to that is Contraverse Hold, which is still a good one, but I think Nezarix is still fucking turbo busted on fucking Void Warlock.
Energy.
It's so good. It's so free.
Yeah, but aside from that, the most hype thing that they just kind of threw in at the very end of the stream. A new mode coming on April the 30th called Pantheon.
I did see that name, and I'm curious as to what that was.
Pantheon will be an activity that will reset weekly, and it will have escalating difficulties and rewards. What it is, it's Raid Boss Rush,
Oh.
with the potential to earn raid drops, including Adepts and the Exotic, and they will be farmable.
Are they tailored for 3-man or 6-man?
They haven't given up any more information on it, but it is a boss rush of raid bosses that will change each week and have rewards, including the Adepts and the Exotics.
Now, did they say if you have to follow the mechanics, or it's just kill the fucking boss?
That they haven't specified on yet, but we'll probably figure it out relatively soon since it's dropping on the 30th. However, this presents an option of being able to get the raid rewards without having to commit to the full time investment of doing an entire raid.
Which is great for the solo and casual player, because it means you can just queue up for the activity.
It also, with them being farmable, it adds another layer onto that besides having to wait for a certain raid to be the weekly pinnacle raid. It's like, okay, which of these bosses are in the rotation this week?
Yeah, like, it's I think that's an absolute W.
Yeah, no, like, Into the Light, honestly, this might be the best drop of content that they've had in the game since, like,
I would say Season of Arrivals.
I was gonna say Season of Dawn.
Season of Dawn's good. I mean, I think also, like, when I think of, like, peak seasons, Season of Arrivals is, I think, one of the best seasons that they've ever had. Oh god, I'm trying to think. What season? It was a season recently during... Not from this expansion, but from the Witch Queen expansion. There was one season in there that was really, really, really good. I'm trying to think what it was. Oh my god, I'm blanking on it. Fuck.
I still have an opinion that a lot of people apparently don't, that I enjoyed Season of Plunder.
I think Season of Plunder was memey as shit. Season of Plunder was great.
It was fun.
It's so fun. And it gave us the Grasp of Avarice dungeon, which is a fun fucking dungeon.
They gave us the Cry Mutant.
Other than Ahoy Matey. Fuck that guy. Fuck the Shank. Other than the Shank, probably one of the best dungeons ever. Other than the fucking boss Shank.
Yeah. One of the most, like, unique heavy grenade launchers that they've ever made. That's not an exotic.
Yeah.
The Cry Mutiny, firing cannonballs.
Well, what was the season where they did the updates on the Void shit?
The Void stuff was...
Because that was the first one for Witch Queen. Because it was Witch Queen, and then it was the one after that.
When did it come out?
At least I think it was the expansion of Witch Queen? Or no, was that Beyond Light? No, it wasn't Beyond Light.
That is Witch Queen. Is it
Yeah.
Season of Defiance?
Well, all I know is that it was before the Leviathan came back.
Yeah, because
that was Solar, and that was second.
Yeah, that was Solar.
Yeah, and that one was... I'm gonna be honest, other than the Solar changes, the going around the Leviathan for fucking hours trying to farm the fucking guns and shit, miserable.
Oh yeah, no, like... It was weird. And the only other thing that they have done is they're tweaking some of the perks since some of them are coming back. Master of Arms is going to be a 15% damage bonus instead of a 20, which, fair enough, it's basically Frenzy, but a lot easier to proc. Magnificent Howl got changed, so it basically remembers how many precision hits or final blows you got and carries those over.
Oh, that's nice.
Kind of similar to like Sturm Overcharge or something like that. Make it kind of competitive with Precision Instrument. Micro missiles got reworked to where they could be used for rocket jump, and they'll behave a little bit more like rockets than grenades, which, yeah, that's kind of what it is.
No, makes sense. So,
And they reduced the strand fragment cost from 200 meditations to 100.
that's good. W. Those meditation costs can be a pain in the ass to try and get. So, you know what? I'm here for it.
Yeah, a lot of good quality of life changes, which I'm intrigued by, as well as the last thing in the TWAB. They are actually going to have a reward for the first 3 players to beat Onslaught on Legend. The first fire team to complete all 50 waves on Legend difficulty will receive a Lord Shaxx 7-inch mini replica helmet per fire team member.
Oh, you know we gotta shoot for that, Danny.
So, the very first team to beat all 50 will be rewarded.
That's good.
I'm intrigued at how challenging that legend is going to be.
Danny, we gotta shoot for it. We gotta go for it.
The rewards are definitely going to be worthwhile.
Oh yeah, no. Like on the 9th, I'm going to log in. I'm going to update. I'm going to message you and be like, hey, either you're streaming or I'm streaming. One of us is streaming, and we're gonna go ham. Like, we are beating the gauntlet. I am so fucking down. I don't think there's a single one of our friends in our friend group that are better at horde shooters than me and maybe Rogue, just because Rogue played an absurd amount of fucking zombies.
Yeah.
Like I'm in, Danny. I'm in. Put me in, coach.
It's going to be interesting to see like what works and what doesn't in that mode, since it's for the first time it's defending an actual objective instead of a plate.
Which is a nice change, because thank God, dude, fuck plates. Fuck
And
plates.
it moves.
Hey, yo, it do be kind of moving.
It's like the fact that it moves like after a few waves makes me very happy. So it doesn't get stale sitting in the same spot.
Yep.
'Cause 50 rounds is a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was the big thing. And also, on the 9th, aside from the release of Into the Light, we're getting another stream
Oh my
showing
God.
off Final Shape gameplay.
Oh God.
So, Final Shape is in a condition enough that they have gameplay.
Well, that's good to hear. Nia, would you stop squirming, dog? I'm trying to pet you.
I'm imagining they're gonna show us some of the new weapons coming in that, and little teasers of the supers.
Oh, well, yeah, because they already showed us a little bit of the supers. But it'll
I
be
am
interesting to see
already-
more of it.
Yeah, I'm already calling it that Radiant Warlock is going to be very, very strong for DPS.
Oh.
Every solar weapon scorching within the radius of the Warlock, and infinite seeking grenades, basically, is what it looked like.
Dog, it's a walking well for solar weapons.
Like, it's basically well, but without the healing.
Yeah. Which, guess what? You're a warlock. Just throw a fucking rift down.
Pair it with the heightened running banner of war, you're set. You're good.
Yeah. I apologize, Danny. Nia is starting to get on my nerves. Clearly means that she needs to go outside. So, do you have any other news that you would like to go over?
Well, that's pretty much it for this week.
Alright. I mean, honestly, though, W's all
Yeah.
around for Bungo.
Yeah, no, like this absolutely has been like an honest like thank you from the devs to the players.
For the people that stuck around.
And there's a lot of people hopping back in for this.
Oh yeah, I'm
Even
coming
Dado
back
said,
in.
Like, I think even Data was like, "Yeah, no, I'm feeling it." It's
They're sucking us in, and they're also apologizing for the delay that is Final Shape.
This is
Hey, you do not chew that pillow.
like, honestly, this is more content that we've been getting in the seasons. And
Yeah.
this is free.
Yeah, no, facts. Absolute fucking facts.
Yeah.
So, no, overall, W's all around. Alright. Well, with that being said, Danny, dog down. Where can they find you?
You can find me on YouTube and Twitch at CatboxDanny.
You can also find me on YouTube and Twitch at DominiFox, or on Twitter at DominiFox1. We both thank you all so much for stopping by. We really appreciate it. We all hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. And as always, don't be a sweat lord. We'll see you guys next time.